Yo, what's up, everybody? I know you missed us last week because my dumbass couldn't properly upload it. This is Ian. I'm with Casey Barrett. We're without Justin tonight. How you doing, Casey?
That was the longest whistle intro I've ever heard in my life.
When the Saints come marching in, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about a little more football. But how you doing though?
I'm doing well, man. Just getting ready for the full season now. I mean, we're 2 preseason games in, and I think everybody's just ready for real NFL football now.
I agree, and we're gonna
You know what's
talk.
kind of funny is like when you're first week of the preseason, right, or the week before, you're like, man, I am just so pumped to watch football in general. Then you get 2 weeks into the preseason, and you're like, okay, like that's cool, but I am ready. Like I am ready for some real football now.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna talk nothing but football on this show. But I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge Justin's absolute domination of us in that fucking little bullshit ass basketball game. You know what? I
No,
had you
that's
guys beat by like
Sean. Sean's absolute.
no wait, wasn't it Justin that came in with like 3,000 or was that Sean? I thought that was Justin.
Sean got like 40,000.
What the fuck? Are you
No,
serious?
see, what's pissing me? They both know some certain cheat that we don't know, and they're just not telling.
He said 40,000, bro. I had 300. I was sending gifts and shit of Steph Curry in this moment. And then I look at the shit, you're like, bro, how the fuck did you get 30,000? Like, nah, that's just not right. But speaking of not right, man, pay them men their money. We got a lot of holdouts going on around the NFL, and that's gonna be part of the topic of this show. But
one in particular that is just eating at me still.
You know what? Why save it for later in the show? Lay it on me.
Well, we talked about it last episode, and I don't know if that part of it has been aired because, as we know, part of the show got lost. But CeeDee Lamb is still in holdout, and the Cowboys have submitted him a couple offers. Remains to be seen if they're going to be signed, if he's going to sign them, rather. All I know is for this offense to function at a high level, it is absolutely going to require CeeDee Lamb to be a full-fledged part of it. There is no world where Dallas can have the same level of offensive success that they had in 2023 if CeeDee Lamb is not involved in the picture. Like I said it last show, I don't know if it aired or not. It doesn't matter. CeeDee Lamb is inarguably a top 5 receiver in the league. If you just base it off your eye test, he's a top 5 receiver in the league. And then when you break it down even further, and you just simply want to look at, say, there's just the stats of CeeDee Lamb, he is inarguably a top 5 receiver. Absolutely no question. What I think Dallas needs to do, I know he wants Justin Jefferson money, and I know history says you don't pay receivers that high of money. I get it. But do you want your offense to be inept? We can't go into next season, or this season rather, with our best receiver being Brandon Cooks, with all due respect to Brandon Cooks. Last year, CeeDee Lamb had 135 receptions for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaging 13 yards a reception. That's elite numbers. That's not just, he's a Pro Bowler type receiver. That's elite numbers. He needs to be paid like an elite receiver. I know Dak's looking for his money. Here's where Dallas is in a tough pickle, right? They have to pay Dak. They have to pay Micah. They have to pay CD. And they're going to have to pay Trayvon Diggs. In arguably the 4 positions they have to pay. I think that it could financially cripple them after that. And I don't know what their next move is. Now, I will say, as much as I've been a fan of him throughout his tenure in Dallas, who do you think I would be okay with them not paying to save money? Out of Dak, Trayvon Diggs, Micah, or CD?
Right, and it's one of those.
I'm asking. Who do you think I'd be okay with them not paying? There's one of them. If they can't pay him, if they could pay 3 out of the 4.
Diggs and who else?
CD, Micah, Dak, or Trayvon Diggs.
Who would you be okay with them not paying?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, as a not a fan of the Cowboys, who would be the smartest investment to not pay, I guess is the best way to word it.
That's tough. I mean, pay CD. You pay CD, but a decent quarterback is so hard to find. You got a good quarterback with Dak. I mean, I guess Diggs. He was one of the names, right?
Yeah, it would no effect. I love Diggs, but it would have to be, right? Because of the emergence of Deron Bland, how well he played last year. Because CD and Micah are inarguable. You have to pay CD, you have to pay Micah. Those are people you cannot lose. Dak's a tough one because Dak's one of the quarterbacks where the best argument for him is also one of the best arguments against him. And that's, who are you going to find that's better? Indicating that he's not one of the elites, but who are you truly going to find that's better? Like, you're not going to find a free agent quarterback that's going to be better than Dak Prescott.
No,
Never.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can joke about Dak all we. I mean, he had a great season last year, but at the end of the day, like to find a quarterback like Dak Prescott, like that's a problem they really haven't had to worry about. I mean, to have a serious conversation, is Dak the problem? Like, we haven't really had that conversation in a while. You know what I mean? And he's a good quarterback, so you got to pay Dak.
He's top 7.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, shit. I mean, at what, the 10, 11 weeks of the season, he was on an MVP pace, and he was tearing shit up. So we'll see, man. But it's gonna be, Jerry Jones never ceases to amaze me. So I'm not gonna jump out and make any predictions just because when I think I know the man, I don't.
Yeah, no, Jerry's the type of owner that you seriously never know what's going to happen next with him. So I get that entirely. I understand where you're coming from.
Man. Like with Jerry Jones, well, this is me kind of going off on a tangent, but yeah, man, it's just one of those things to where it's just like, I don't know what the fuck. But no, what I was saying was, yeah, it's like good quarterbacks come at a premium, and then so do good receivers do. But I mean, you gotta have you gotta have a captain of the ship. As great as CD is, you gotta have a guy that's out there. Here we go. You know what I mean? And he.
No, agreed. I couldn't agree more. But
yeah,
what makes this so tough is I don't know the route that Dallas needs to take. Because if Dak is, let's say Dak is the problem, right? I don't want to use that word. I was trying to think of a better word for it, but say Dak is quote unquote the problem as to why they can't get over the hump. I'm almost to the point then what you may have to do is bite the bullet and be subpar for a couple of years until you can get a quarterback in the draft. Because I don't want to have the same outcome every year where we're really good in the regular season and then can't make it past the second round. Eventually, that's going to have to change, right? No matter what, that's going to have to change at some point. And whether that is changing to the point where they are just getting rid of Dak and starting over and building for a few years, I'm okay with that.
right.
Like, as much as it would be painful for me to sit and bear through a couple painful years in Dallas, I would be okay with it if in the long-term effect, they got not going to go Patrick Mahomes level, but a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen type level quarterback. I would be okay with that rather than just going through the motions of having a great regular season.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
And then from there, of course, just struggling to officially make any type of noise in the postseason. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't know, man, because it's one of those things where the NFL, like, you get one game in the playoffs, which, I mean, football, that's really the only way you could do it. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, well, you could just have bad strategy. Well, like, I think Green Bay came out and played brilliantly. Like, I don't even know what I could say is going wrong with the Cowboys in the playoffs. All you can really ask is they put themselves in the best position. You know, people want to say, well, the Cowboys get to the playoffs every year and choke. Yeah, but you'd still rather the odds be in their favor and them have a higher seed. And, like, so I don't think Philly's going to be all that, even with Saquon. I don't think Nick Sirianni's that great of a coach.
Agreed.
I don't think he's whatever. I mean, he has this, he's stacked. But I personally, I got Dallas winning the division. But, I mean, we're gonna have to see. So.
To me, this is 100% a make it or break it year for Dak. 100%.
For Dak? For Dak?
Yes, for Dak.
Yeah. I mean, because shit, this is what, fucking year 9?
Yeah. 8.
Yeah, first year was
2016 when he took over.
Yeah, they lost in the 2017 playoffs. Because it's like, dude, other than Aikman, obviously, who's had the success that Dak has had? I mean, year in and year out. Romo
statistically did. They didn't have nearly as good a team back then.
He made it to the divisional round like twice, I think Romo did.
Yes. Yep.
But I don't know. One of those things where I got faith in my boys, but we just really got to figure out what we're doing. Like, we're in the division with the Niners. Like, we got to play them twice. Like, fuck. I'm not worried about going to Seattle. I'm not worried about nothing about Arizona. I'm worried about San Francisco.
Well, of course. There's no reason to be worried about teams like Seattle or teams like Arizona. They're not in your caliber yet. The 49ers are by far and away the only team that's going to be even a remote challenge.
Who's Seattle's quarterback?
Geno Smith.
Oh, right. Still.
Which he's had a resurgence the past couple of years. That's not like he hasn't been the Jets Geno Smith. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely made strides and has earned his way to be a starting quarterback for sure.
And you got Purdy and Toddler Murray. So,
like the thing the Rams going, they got easily the best quarterback in the division. Easily.
They can dispute that. Whether it was 100%. Now, Geno Smith to the point last year was balling out.
Yeah, no, Geno Smith played fine. But I would still rank him in the bottom 15 as far as quarterbacks in the league. But I definitely think he's earned his way to be a starter. He's definitely not Matt Stafford. That's for damn sure.
And he's also not Tyson Bagent.
No, exactly. He's definitely no Tyson Bagent. Yeah, no question.
But speaking of the goddamn Bears, what have you thought about Caleb Williams so far?
I think the past 2 weeks against Buffalo and then this past week against Cincinnati, he has shown why he's the number 1 pick. Now, of course, that could all change in the regular season, 100%. Preseason, we both know that's not going to matter come week 1. But what we have seen in him throughout the first 2 weeks in the preseason, to me, indicates the Bears might have the best quarterback they've ever had in their franchise history. And you would think, oh, wow, how can you say that to the first 2 weeks of the preseason, right? That'd be your first initial reaction. I say, but then you break down their best quarterbacks. Like, their most talented quarterback they've ever had is probably Jay Cutler.
Right. I mean, I can't even think for like a small amount of time an actual good quarterback. I mean, well, obviously they went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Bad. Who did they go back with? Rex Grossman, I think.
Rex Grossman, yeah. And obviously, I'm not going to say Jay Cutler wasn't a good quarterback because he was. Jay Cutler was definitely a good quarterback, but
that's the franchise's best QB ever. Like,
yeah, that's what it's saying.
One of the oldest franchises.
Just never got good QB play. Can you imagine being a fan of your Bears the whole life and your issue is always the quarterback?
Just think of the players they've had, bro. Peanut Tillman, Brian Urlacher, Brandon Marshall, Matt Ford.
Alshon
Like,
Jeffrey, Greg Olson, Matt Forte, like they have had tremendous offensive talent, and they just have not been able to find a quarterback that's decent enough. Caleb Williams could absolutely be that guy, and he might turn life around for the Chicago Bears. They might be a powerhouse in the next couple of years in the NFC.
guys, that's what they were thinking about Fields, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're gonna get the number one pick again." Bye, Fields.
Yeah, and Fields showed flashes last season that he was improving, but at the same time, he's not on Caleb Williams' level.
Where the fuck is he from? Oh, he's from I think Maryland. He's from Baltimore. Because he wasn't even speaking of Spencer Rattler, he's making doing a lot of the positive stuff at training camp for the Saints. But Spencer Rattler was starting over Caleb Williams at Oklahoma. Like Caleb Williams was the backup, and then now it's just I mean with the
It
word
just
generational
evolved
gets
from
thrown out.
there.
As far as like quarterback, I haven't heard the term generational thrown around as much as I have since Caleb Williams has been coming like he's different.
Absolutely.
Who's the best quarterback prospect since him? What, like Andrew Luck? Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence.
But we'll see.
Trevor Lawrence. People were saying Trevor Lawrence is the next generational prospect for the longest time. Now, I'm not saying that hasn't panned out because Trevor Lawrence has been very good, but that's the problem. He's only been very good.
And that's the things about these pedestals, man. Like we place these people on these pedestals, and like imagine Reggie Bush coming into the NFL. Like he had a decent career, but like people don't
It ended up being
shit.
a disappointment because he wasn't one of the greatest of all time.
The one thing I remember about his career is he got fucking rocked one game
By Lito Shepherd.
By the Eagles, yeah, bro.
Yeah, Lito Shepherd hit him. I remember that. I'm pretty sure it was Lito Shepherd.
Bro, I used to play with that dude on Madden 03. He was playing with the fucking Eagles at that time? Oh, shit.
I'm almost positive it was, but I could be wrong.
He said, boom. He caught the ball on the fly. Reggie Bush got fucked up. And that man has his Heisman back. So
good for him. He deserves his Heisman back.
I don't know, man. That's one of the slippery slopes. Like, yeah, those were the rules at the time. But when you find the rules are, I don't know, damn near borderline unconstitutional, like, it kind of, like, all right, I don't think what Reggie did was that bad. Like, he wasn't over there selling no drugs. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, you as a student in college, like, you could go get a fucking part-time job. You can't do that shit as an athlete. And you're bringing in millions and you can't see a dime. And then you have the coach rolling in a fucking new Rolls Royce. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that NCAA shit, man, they've just been trying to get out of paying kids for so long because they've always been able to.
I'm glad they no longer are able to do that. Those kids deserve a cut of the bread. Like, they absolutely do.
Like Cooper Flag, bro. Like, imagine trying to justify Cooper Flag not being able to get paid. Like, what in the world? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make. He got a little soul in him. He was I think it was when he was playing at Montverde. He said something. He was like, "You keep talking" or something like that. That dude is a beast, bro. Like he's quick, but they say his outside shooting is a little bit of a concern on his ball handling. But I mean, bro, he moves different. Like that dude moves like his basketball IQ is still crazy. His brother is pretty good too. His name Ace.
Ace Flag, yeah. He'll be in college the year after this.
Was he playing he's gonna play for Maine or something like that? Like he's not nearly as good, but I know he's hosting a camp down in Maine.
I think he'll go to a D1 school. I don't think he'll go to Maine. I think he'll be in D1.
Imagine if Maine beats Duke this year in basketball. Like what?
I mean, that would be something to fucking behold.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, because only let's keep it real. People there are hockey fans, but they want to watch Cooper Flag. So there are going to be. It's not going to be some random game on the middle of a fucking. I think people are going to be really excited about it, and Duke is going to win by 67 points. If I had to be an honest final score prediction, I say Duke 98, Maine 48. I think they're going to beat the shit. Bro, Duke has one of the best recruiting classes ever. They have the number 2 pick as well, I think.
Yeah, they're going to be a powerhouse. They'd be my early prediction to win the title, to walk away as the college basketball national champions.
Yo, shout out. I'll go tell a quick story. So my little brother, Josh, he was the one that I did the Blackwell Boys thing with that I didn't invite you to. But he went to like a smaller school, like an early college, high school. Like it's really academics, like sports aren't a big thing. So he played for a school, and somehow I don't know if it was by enrollment or what it was, but he was in the same league as Rancho Christian, and they had the Mobley twins, Evan and Isaiah. And there's a video on YouTube. They beat one of the teams in his league, bro, like 103 to like 6.
Oh my
Like
God,
bro, because I don't know because they played in, I think, the open division for the playoffs. So they're playing like the big dogs, but in the league, they're playing like my little brother's school, to where there's literally not even bleachers in the gym, and these kids like I could still beat most of them kids at basketball.
right?
And they played Evan Mobley. His scoring lost by like 35. I give it up to him. If you just go and type in Rancho Christian versus Santa Rosa, I'm talking about the score was literally like 104 to like 10. Like there's just certain but the thing is, basketball, that's cool. Like you can't do that shit in football. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Basketball is just funny. Football,
Yes.
you can't do that shit at certain levels. Like I've seen shit where football teams, dudes will get hurt, and you just shouldn't be on the same field. But
like
speaking
that
of
that fake school. God, what was their name again? Yes. When they played IGM Academy or IGA Cat, whatever it's called.
IMG and lost by like fucking 50. Well, that's not even as bad as that team. Like it was like West Toronto High School. They played IMG and it was like 108 to 0 in the first half. And they called the game, bro. Like I watched the highlights, bro. That shit was comical. The players just like, it's your turn. Like bro,
there was an international hockey game a few months ago. And
Punjab, no. We were talking about it. It was like 48 to 2 though. But it was like in one of the countries like Middle Eastern or some shit. We're like, we knew they played hockey there. Fucking country was it?
I can't remember the countries, but the score was like 56 to nothing.
Bahrain, I think, was one of them. I don't know why I remember that. And then but yeah, bro, it's like some of those things are just hard to watch. Like I watched, it was some like retired English footballers against like a women's all-star team. Man, the men had them up by like 8 within like.
Yeah, the final score was 57 to nothing. Can you imagine losing 57 to nothing in a hockey game? 57 to nothing.
So that's 19 goals a period. That's 19 goals a period. That's damn near a goal a minute. That's damn near a goal a minute for an hour straight. Like imagine playing for an hour straight and they score every minute. Like and think about hockey too, you know what I mean? I don't know what level it was. I think it was some kind of national team. I hope they had a running clock, bro, because after every goal, the clock got to stop. Like, imagine that. Just face off, pass, score, pass, score, pass. I'm going to take it myself this time.
The game would take 5 hours.
Yo, there was a game like a couple of years ago, UNLV here. They played UC Rivers. Or no, it wasn't UC Rivers. It was like San Jose or something. But they played them, bro. It was like 16 to 0 in the first inning.
Oh, the first tough
inning, bro. Like, I was going to go when they play Riverside, but they had like a 12-run inning. With the pitch clock and shit, bro. Like, think about how long it takes to score 4 runs in baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get everybody on. A grand slam, best case, but if not, you knock 16 runs. I watched the shit on YouTube. The fucking first inning lasted like an hour and 50 minutes or something crazy, bro, for one inning. I know when I was a kid, we got our ass beat a few times to where I don't even want to say it on this show. Like, go down, they just shut the scoreboard off. Yeah.
That happened to us freshman year of football. We were losing so bad at halftime, they shut the scoreboard off.
And then you like, damn, we fucking suck.
It's exactly what I was like.
And you play all the schools to where they don't even talk. They just warm up. And they just like, they already know. And they look like robots. And you're like, oh, you're getting our ass beat this game.
I think every athlete has had that moment where they just roll into the They roll into the game, they see their opponents on the other side, and they just know. But you know what's worse is when your coach knows that you're gonna lose.
Yeah, didn't you have a coach that didn't even know you guys had a game that?
Yeah. We told him we were playing, and he's like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna lose."
True leader of men.
A true men of character right there. Anyways, let's go back to the NFL, Ian. And there's a couple things I want to touch on with you. Last week, in the past 2 weeks, obviously, we've talked about the Patriots quarterback carousel and what we think is going to truly happen if Gerard Mayo could be committing career suicide by starting Joe Milton, who looked like he'd be having a surprisingly good camp over the likes of Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. I think he might have lucked out, Gerard Mayo, in this one, as where Drake May played a hell of a game against Philadelphia in the brief limited time he was still out there, showed glimpses of as to why he's the number one pick. So with that being said, at this point, what's that?
You said number one pick. You talking about Drake May or Caleb Williams?
Sorry, I said first round pick. I meant to say first round. If I said first overall, I meant to say first round. First round, number 3 overall pick, Drake May.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So with that being said, due to the performance that he did have, do you think that solidifies Drake May as the starting quarterback for the Patriots going into week 1? Or do you still think it could be Jacoby Brissett? I think Joe Milton is out the window now. I think that window has sailed or has shut.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like I don't know. I'm just gonna say like this. I don't know if it solidified his spot. Well, okay, solidified is such like a no. I it might have helped him get the spot, but I still think he's got to look over his shoulder. Like it's gonna take Drake May at least one season of balling because, dude, I mean, like when you don't. The best thing in sports is the unknown, and especially Patriots fans. They saw Brady come in as an unknown and become the legend he is. So, like, there's going to be clamoring for Milton if they don't come out and which I mean, look at their division. Like, it's not like what we said they could start 0-5, 0-6. Like, they might really just start out like shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I don't think it's solidified because I think. I mean, yeah, are the Patriots going to start 0-4? Yeah, there's a good likelihood. 0-4, 0-5, maybe. You know what I mean? So, like, but even though we anticipate that's going to happen, if the reality of that does come to fruition, I could definitely see them taking a different direction. But at the same time, when you pick a guy that high in the draft, you got to be willing to take some of the lumps that are going to do they trust Drake May or not? That's what we're gonna find out by how many times Gerard Mayo decides to, flip flop back and forth. If he does flip flop back and forth,
I don't think he should flip flop. Like, I can see starting Brissett and then going to May. I get that, but if you start Drake May, you gotta stick with him the whole season. Even if they start 0-4, you gotta let him take his lumps and develop. If they start Drake May and say go 0-2 and 0-3, something like that, and then go back to Jacoby Brissett, I think that's an absolute confidence killer. I do not see that as the right move.
Yeah, no, I think because what the Browns did with Baker Mayfield and Tyrod Taylor. Okay, let Tyrod come in. We're 0-4. Okay, come on, Baker. Because I mean, there's no reason to rush him in. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what do you want to do? You want to win football games. So there's no reason if Brissett. He's a starter now. But I mean, I'm just saying. I think you let Brissett start the season and, maybe get him a few throws at garbage time, Drake May. If we start losing, and I've never heard nothing bad about Jacoby Brissett as a veteran. Like, he knows what he's there for. He knows
he's a bridge quarterback.
He knows that he's a bridge quarterback. He knows that, the guy that they just got, they expect him to be the next Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. I don't know that but I mean, he's the first round pick. So, like, Brissett knows what Drake May is there for. I don't really see the benefit of starting Drake May like week 1. All I see is he's gonna take his lumps, yeah, but I think you just ease him into it, man. Like, I don't see no reason to throw him to who do they play week 1?
Cincinnati.
And Cincy, right?
I think so.
They're gonna get fucking crushed. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
Cincinnati's
know.
going
The
to dominate
Bengals
him.
were. I think Cincinnati's going to win pretty handily. But who's the first game? It's the Chiefs and the Ravens. No,
Yeah, Chiefs and Ravens.
Steelers. Is it Chiefs and Ravens?
Yeah.
You know what? Another question I was going to ask you before I forget. Who do you think is just the most over? I'm not going to say player. I'm just going to talk about like brand. Like, who do you think is the guy that just gets shoved down your face and you just get told he's great all the time? Like in the NFL, who's that guy for you? You just feel like the media and you're just like, this guy is not good. Like, I'm sick of fucking hearing about him.
Saquon Barkley.
I knew you were going to say it. Why?
Too injury prone.
Right. Mine would probably have to be he's a toss up for me. Well, I mean, Antonio Brown is a little different because he kind of put himself in our face.
Antonio, but when his Steelers days were phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know, but when he came, like, well, I was just kind of more or less just brainstorming. I wasn't, or giving my
Maybe Kyler Murray.
I mean, who's another one? Not really Herbert. Herbert, I don't feel like we get shut down our throats that much. Pause. Who else?
I guess you could argue Josh Allen, but I think
yeah,
Josh
you know what? No, that's actually a really good one. Yeah, I would go with Josh Allen because he's the guy that which his numbers, bro, don't get me wrong, can be phenomenal. But when he looks bad, he looks bad. But yeah, I feel like, Josh Allen is the one that I always get told I'm great.
But here's my take on Josh Allen now. He has gotten so much hate too that this is such a weird way to word it. He's gotten so much hate where his overratedness has almost become underrated because of how much people disrespect him for the turnovers. That people forget how special of an arm talent he has.
Bro, he could chuck that motherfucker.
Yes.
80 yards.
There's
85.
not a throw on the field that he can't make.
No, I understand that for sure. I get it, yeah, because like what you said, like he gets shit on so much to where it's almost like people forget how good he actually is. Kind of like Romo, I feel like Romo, we always got like a lot
Dak
of people
Prescott.
try to tell. Yeah, they're always trying to tell the media how great Romo is, and the media is like, no, but then the Cowboys fans are like, no, he actually is pretty good. You know
I've
what I'm
always
saying?
said Romo was a very good quarterback who played in the wrong era, man. He was playing in the same era as Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan either. I just want to throw his name in there.
You could argue Romo was a better quarterback than Eli. He didn't have as much success, but you could argue he was the better quarterback.
Well, that's all. I don't really think Eli is all that in a bag of chips. Look at those defenses they had, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, what the fuck? Fucking Jason Pierre, Four Finger Paul, like OCU Minora, like that.
Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan on the first team, like, bro, you're not beat. And then I think they had Brandon Jacobs as their running back the second time. Like, you're not beating that team, bro. And honestly, like Saquon, when he came in the league, the league is just transitioned away from the type of player he is. I think if we would have seen Saquon in the 90s, man, he'd up there with Eric Dickerson. I mean, Eric Dickerson before, but you get my point. Like with the best running backs, Barry Sanders, but he just plays in a fucking pass-heavy league, And Saquon is one of those guys to where he's, I think, more to me of a physical specimen than, I mean, yes, some of the shit he does athletically, like I think when he hurdled the dude at Penn State, and but he doesn't really do anything to where I'm like, McCaffrey amazes me more than he does.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Chris McCaffrey is the best running back in the league, and it's not close. It's not close.
These are the most.
Speaking of being amazed, we gotta talk about it. The behind the back pass,
bro. I
from
still
Patrick
have not seen it.
Huh?
It's been like 4 days and I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I still haven't, dude.
What is wrong with you?
Dude, you know what? Everybody asks me that shit all the time. I was thinking about that, like, damn, I really was it. Bro, did he complete the pass?
Yes.
You lying. That's fucking crazy, bro. Matter of fact,
Go watch it right now.
all right, hold on. Let me
It
turn
will
the
take
fucking.
10 seconds.
Nah, all right, I'm turning it on. But while I am getting the PlayStation turned on, like, what do you think? Like, do you think Mahomes is? I think the word special gets thrown around a lot. Do you think Mahomes is special?
Yeah. What kind of question is that?
Like, go watch
Have
the
you
fucking video and then.
have you not watched him since he first stepped foot in an NFL uniform? Yes, he's by far the best quarterback in the league. I've said it for 2 years now. There's a larger gap between Mahomes and the second best quarterback in the league than there is between the second best quarterback and the fifth best quarterback. There's that big of a gap.
No, I'm turning on right now to watch it. Do you think at any point, like, okay, within the last, Mahomes won his first Super Bowl year of 2020. So, like, do you think at any point since he's won his first Super Bowl that there has been any debate? Because Josh Allen, like I
No,
was saying, not even Burrow.
not even a remote, in my opinion,
Right.
not even a remote debate between any other. There's not even a single other quarterback,
Lamar?
not even close.
No,
I would
Lamar,
not
bro.
entertain any other quarterback being number one other than Patrick Mahomes.
I'm about to
No
watch
one else has an
it.
argument.
This shit can't be that crazy. Let me see. This nigga did not, or excuse me, he did not throw the ball behind his fucking back. Bro, everybody was like, oh my God, he just threw the ball behind his back. I was like, there ain't no fucking way. What? Like, bro, that man is just like, yeah, well, we came down the field and Big Red, but who was it that, I think it was Travis Kelce was like talking about him. And he's like, well, Patrick's back there and he has little, well, yeah.
Did you go watch the video?
No, I literally just pulled up YouTube. Patrick Mahomes. I bet you that's like the first thing that's gonna fucking come up. Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes behind the
Mahomes
back
behind the
pass.
back.
Yeah, behind the back pass. Was it against the Lions this past weekend?
Yes, it was.
Let me see. Hold on.
When they were just 2 for 13 on third down. Mahomes keeps it, goes behind.
Wait. What?
Much better than a week ago when they were just 2 for 13 on third down. Mahomes keeps it, goes behind.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And the accuracy.
He did it on the move, too. Like, he did it on the move.
Bro, he did it with the defender like lurking right there. Like, what in the world is wrong with? I mean, it's preseason. I mean, you know what? That's one of those things that is crazy, bro. And I'm gonna sound like such a hater. There's other guys in the NFL that can do that.
Yes, of course.
I just think that's a schoolyard move. Like, dude, don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the dudes that can do it at like peak because he's just amazing. But it was amazing. But that's just a schoolyard move. I mean, the fact that he had the balls playing or not to pull it off is still something to be said about that. But I mean, that wasn't as amazing. It was crazy as fuck. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, and the crowd goes mild.
And the crowd goes mild.
I
By
mean,
the
I'm not
way-
saying, bro, it wasn't incredible. I'm just saying, like, I just feel like that's a schoolyard play that he's just fucking around. But, like, bro, I mean, but if he threw a pick, like, he still would have got fucking roasted. So, you know what I mean? Like, trying some shit like that and then it going terribly wrong. So, I got to give it up to him. But the craziest one for me is in the Super Bowl, bro, when he was, like, off his feet and chucked that. I think he got picked or it got knocked down, but he still chucked it, like, 30 yards down the field.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And no, it hit his wide receiver in the face mask. I guess you're talking about against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it hit his receiver dead in the face mask and they didn't catch it.
That was just such a weird season, dude. Like,
yeah, that COVID year was something different.
I mean, don't get the NBA bubble, bro. The one thing I've never really liked, they say the Lakers were the bubble champions. The Lakers were the number one team coming out the regular season, and I mean they won. Like, yeah, there wasn't home court. Like, Oh well, I mean the only thing is my big thing is with baseball because I think with baseball they played like 60 games, which is like 100 less. It was a sprint to the finish. They had that little bullshit tournament. I don't really fully appreciate the Dodgers ring, but the Lakers I'll give them credit. The Bucks I guess I'll give credit, but bro, there was so much different holdouts and fucking COVID do not plays that season that it was crazy. I
But
don't
the
remember. I
fans
don't know
were
if guys
back to about 85% capacity during the playoffs.
Yeah, and then Super Bowl was like half full. I don't know. It was still.
No,
It
I'm talking about for
really.
the NBA. I'm talking about for the NBA. With the Bucks championship.
Oh yeah, when the Bucks won, they were pretty much all back. When the Warriors beat the Celtics, it was. I'm
It was
pretty sure
all.
at that point it was. Yeah, it was.
It was full. It was full
Man.
100% capacity at that point. Anyways, I might be. This is a hot take, and I know I've said this to you before, and I'm in the very vast minority of this. I liked the bubble. Something about it to me, and don't get me wrong, it could very well be the fact that I hadn't watched live sports in like 4 months. So I was just happy to be watching basketball. It very well could be that.
Yeah.
But from the way I remember it, I was fucking excited about the bubble. Like it was different. We hadn't seen it before. And to me, it felt like straight hoops. Like it felt like they were just hooping, which is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, why the Lakers won. Because they had the best basketball player on teams that were just hooping.
Dude, T.J. Warren went for like 50 in the bubble.
Yeah, he balled out in the bubble.
It was just weird, bro. It was one of those things to where it was just like, yeah, like you said, the Lakers were just better, but it was because like the further you got in the playoffs, it was like there was still no crowd noise. It was weird, bro. And then with the Bucks would like, yeah, you said it was 85% capacity, but they still had like the little tarp over some of the little thing. But I don't know. I remember the March Madness on year. Don't even get me fucking started. That shit was all in Indiana. Which if there is a good place you're gonna have a basketball tournament, I guess. Well, I mean, Las Vegas would be a hell of a place too. We definitely have the hub out of hotels.
I can see
but-
Indiana though. It makes sense.
Yeah, but bro, because it was weird because it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it was all in one play. And then the final four, like Jalen Suggs in the national semifinals, hit a half court shot to win the game at the buzzer in front of like 20,000 people, maybe. Like like in front of a set of 70,000. But so it's just I don't know, man. I've started to appreciate the crowds a lot more since COVID. I will say that. A good crowd like the Alphon. Well, shit, Maine was rolling that year, bro, in hockey.
I know, and then they just shut the season down in total. Because I get it. I mean, it's college hockey, but I get it. But Jeremy Swayman was playing goalie out of his mind. Maine just beat BU. They were rolling that year.
Where did we get this year? First round of the NCAAs, right?
Yeah.
Cornell was a big team, man. A big team.
They presented problems that we weren't ready for, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where that's kind of what we were talking about football. It's just sometimes the bigger team wins, but Maine's probably gonna have it a little rocky this year. Maine football.
Maine football's gonna be terrible. Maine hockey's gonna take a step back.
Maine basketball is about middle of the road. I know they were the women have gone like 2 years in a row to the March Madness.
Yeah, no, the women are good.
That's how it is at a lot of places. Our girls basketball team was good. The boys, we were like 4-25.
So, if you want to move on to the question, I have it, and I think you're gonna like it.
I'm listening.
All right. So, I want you to listen to this question very carefully, because I am gonna preference this with a caveat, saying you are not allowed to change your answer.
The man knows me. Go ahead.
So I'm going to give you this. How big of a lead would you and four of your friends need I guess you can go 12 people if you want. Like all your best friends, right? At your basketball peaks, mind you, too. At your peaks of basketball, how big of a lead would you need to start out with in a full 48-minute game? Not 48, a full FIFA long game. So 40-minute game
Against Team USA.
against this year's Team USA.
Bruh. Shit.
How big of a lead would you need to start out FIFA rules
to win?
How big of a lead would you need to start out with to win the game?
To win the game at our basketball peaks.
Because obviously, game to game score, it's not even going to be close, right? So obviously, you're going to need a lead. So, how big of a lead is that?
Are they going full tilt?
They are going full tilt. It's a gold medal for them.
It's the pride for America, and it's just a bunch of me and my homies. Bro, I mean, I'm thinking of some ridiculous numbers right now. Even with my bet, I mean, that's Team USA, bro. Like 40-minute game. I'm thinking like how long we could just milk the fucking clock for, but we're gonna just get the shit stolen. Like we ain't gonna be able to do that. They got a shot clock.
You thinking like 400 to 500?
No, I would say, bro, that's a lot, bro. They're just gonna be stealing the ball every time. Like we're not gonna be able to get across half court. I say if you gave up more than 20 for sure. Like we're getting smoked to the 20 point.
Oh my
like,
God,
that's just
way more than 20, bro.
That's going away by the end of the
minutes.
quarter.
I'm truly thinking in the hundreds.
Yeah, I'm like, because if you think about they're going full tilt and they know we fucking suck, like they're gonna be on our ass, dude.
Like you got to think and obviously this is no shot at you or anybody else who you're thinking to have, but their worst player is 100 times better than your best.
300 times better. Like I mean, shit. I mean, who's the worst player on Team USA? Like Halliburton?
Probably Tyrese Halliburton, yeah, and he's an unfathomable amount better than your best player
on his best absolute day. I mean, because bro, they're just gonna be pressing us. Like we're not gonna be able to get any shots up. We're not gonna be able to drive it to the rim. We're not gonna be able to stop them. And I don't know anybody that's 6'11".
You gotta think they're gonna, because of the fact that they're down so much, they're gonna be going that much harder.
I'd say I'm really just thinking because we're not gonna be able to score the ball at all. Like so,
you might get lucky and get a foul call or two.
That's what I'm saying. Like we just chuck up a few, but bro, like that's 40 minutes, like 24-second shot clock. Give us a 50-point lead. We'll work with it. I feel like that's way too small, bro.
Nah. You only got a 50-point lead, bro. Nah. You're gonna be down by the end of the first by 20.
Yeah, no bullshit. Like LeBron and you don't think LeBron and all that could score 70 points at a quarter against us? Like they definitely okay. You know what? 50.
Realistic answer. I know I said it sounded crazy first, but I'm thinking 350 points. Like I know that sounds crazy, but think about it quarter by quarter. If they scored 70 points a quarter, that's 70, 40, 70.
But you're just making the assumption we're not going to score at all in a quarter. We're going to get outscored by 70 every single quarter.
I'm not saying you will, but you're more likely to get outscored by 70 every quarter than you are to score 10 points a quarter.
So you said we would need a 300.
Well, think about it. It'd be 70, 140, and then it would be 220 by the third quarter. They realistically have 220 points.
I mean, if you think about it, bro, like if they're pressing with Edwards and fucking like Durant and Holiday, like they're probably gonna be able to score every 9 seconds. Like if that, like we're barely gonna get, like if we do get the ball across half court, we're turning it over and we're getting dunked on. So I mean, they're probably scoring a good 7 points a minute. Like I mean, they're just doing it like and
it's 10 minutes a quarter in FIFA.
Bro, like
Or
FIBA.
FIBA.
You got it
FIBA.
right.
Jesus Christ. I was gonna
FIBA.
first say
FIBA.
FIBA.
But
So yeah, if they're
go
scoring
with FIFA.
7 points a minute in a 10-minute quarter, that's 70 points a quarter. So 70, 42, 10. 210 points in 3 quarters.
I'm gonna just say it like this: if you had, you know, I mean, because you know 11 people, I'm gonna kind of ask to alternate, and you could take on the Kansas City Chiefs with you and the 11 best football players, you know, or just athletes, just people, just you could bring anybody, anybody that you know personally, like you could consider an acquaintance. How much would you guys? How much of a lead would you guys need to beat the Chiefs? Football is a little different. I would say you guys would need a fucking. I would say a 98 point lead.
I'd say a 12 to anywhere between a 12 to a 15 touchdown point lead.
Right, because if you think about football too, like they're just gonna be getting the ball right back. Like imagine,
Well,
dude,
are injuries a thing because they're gonna decapitate us?
Right, that's another point too. Did you hear about some of these people overseas who really talk about Tyreek Hill in the U.S. really couldn't hang if we what? Because they're saying, oh, what's different in flag football? I do not give a fuck if it's different.
Before you get onto that, what's your answer, Mr. Blackwell?
Good question.
How big of a point lead do you need?
50.
You and your best basketball players that you know personally.
Because I'm thinking about it, like, you know what? Because you're right. Because 50 is too small. Because if we played them, we would lose by more than 50. So only having and they're gonna be playing from behind. Maybe they'll be rattled because they're playing from behind. I don't know. We'd lose by at least 90. I would say 100. Solid 100.
100 points.
100 points. Give us 100 points. Let me direct traffic. You ain't Drew who? Derek who? No, I'm gonna be cooking shit. I mean, it's really gonna be about how long we can not fuck up. Like, we're not gonna be able to get the ball across half court though. That's the thing. Like, it's just gonna be pass the ball, turn over, boop, alley oop, dunk. Oh, LeBron James dunk. Oh, speak of dunk, man, the dude from France, Yabusele, just got a deal with I think the Sixers.
With the 76ers. Yeah, I know. I hope he shits the bed.
Yeah, man, for dunking on my sunshine like that. That was ridiculous.
Well, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that he plays in Philadelphia, and I hate everything Philadelphia, but that's neither here nor there. Why are my 2 favorite teams' biggest rivals both Philadelphia?
That's the crazy thing, and they're in 2 completely different geographical regions. Well, there's really no geographical sense for the fucking Cowboys and Eagles to be rivals.
No. Except same division, right? But, like, it's just such a weird coincidence. Cowboys, Eagles, huge rivals. Celtics, 76ers, huge rivals. And I fucking hate Philly. Like, I just fucking hate Philly.
I just really don't like teams from Boston, bro, because they just always beat teams from LA. Like, the Red Sox beat the shit out of the Dodgers. Obviously, the Lakers took a couple from the Celtics in the 80s. They won 2010, but, we know the Celtics for the most part. I mean, the Celtics have what? One more title now, right?
Yes, they do.
Banner number 18 or 7, no.
18.
Dude, and that's crazy too. Like they're right there, Lakers and Celtics. Like they're gonna keep going back and forth. And then the Yankees.
Oh no, Celtics are winning the title again this year.
Yeah, probably. The Celtics might have a chance to build a nice little gap between because for the longest it was Celtics. The Lakers had to get a 3-peat, and then win 3 more before the Celtics won another one, just to only be down by 1 to the Celtics. So if the Celtics could put together a nice little dynasty, like, I mean, me personally, bro, I think the Lakers are the most polarizing franchise in basketball, and I think it's not close. And you're talking about greatest, it's hard not to say the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, because they own the Lakers. Because people want to say, oh, well, there was X amount of teams in the league back then. Yeah, but they were beating the Lakers.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But always a pleasure, big dog.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure. And one more real quick point here why I think the Celtics are going to win the title this year. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to have a chip on their shoulder due to the Olympics. And I think they are going to absolutely run rapid through the league this year. So that's just my prediction. Cowboys beat Ian's Las Vegas Raiders. And that's the end of the show. Fuck all you.
All right, well, he didn't mean that. Mixed reactions as always, man. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any new video. Let me hit stop recording. Bow, 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 bow. But hold on. 3, 1. I think it is off. All right. Oh wait, no, hold on. Nope, it's not. Shit. And there goes.